Editing a video is really hard, and what makes this even worse is when this happens to you. So these are the 4 biggest lessons that you can learn from all my mistakes and failures that I faced throughout this year, so you can stay ahead from all your competition as a creator or even as an editor. But before we start, check the link down below at the end of this video for something brand new. So let's get started. I know this sounds really basic, but this is the biggest lesson that I have learned this year. You see, when I started out making content and editing videos for myself, one thing that I did not focus is my audience. When I was editing videos, all I did was I just edit the video according to how I actually feel. But that is a huge mistake that I did in the start of this year. You see, 90% of the time people edit their videos without knowing the actual reason behind this, just like me when I actually started out editing my videos and creating content. So what is the actual goal of editing a video? The main goal of editing a video is to actually convey the message that the video is trying to say in a way that the audience can really understand and also keep them engaged. The editing is just the source, it is not the actual food. The actual food is the value and the video itself. You see, the editing of a video is kind of like a leverage that increases the value or the worth of the specific video. If that video has a really good and high quality edit, then it will increase the value of that video. But instead of focusing on the value, you focus on the editing. You have too many flashy effects, overlays, all sort of things, thinking that your audience and people will actually like it. But in reality, that is just killing your video. So what happens in this way is basically, instead of using editing to actually level up the value of that video, you are just editing the video as a distraction for your audience. Because if your audience cannot really understand what the video is trying to say because of your high pace and over edited video, then it becomes a distraction. So what you need to focus on the value first and then focus on the editing. And one thing that many creators and people could not understand is they think that for a video you don't need to have actual editing. But editing is really important. Let me explain why. You see, if you think about what separates a creator from all their competition is the editing style, and that is why people try to copy all these popular YouTubers editing styles. And the reason why people try to copy these styles is because that is the single most important factor that actually keep them ahead of their competition. So rather than just copying someone's styles, you need to make sure that you're making your own editing style. You need to edit your videos according to your theme. So select a font that matches the channel and the brand that you have built, select a color scheme, and then just make your edit according to that central theme, which in most cases needs to be a really simple, minimalistic and smooth editing style. So as a summary, the main lesson that I have learned from all my failures and all the mistakes that I have did for all my videos is that first focus on your audience. It doesn't matter if you are editing videos for yourself or for your clients, focus on the audience of the channel that you are editing the videos in. Which leads us to lesson number 2, which is over editing is dead. Editing is a really subjective thing, because some people will say that they actually love the over editing and kind of like the 3D animation style, but some people will say that they prefer the minimalistic and kind of like the smooth animation style. So you need to select this style according to the type of videos that you're actually making. But the man himself who actually introduced us to this 3D kind of like the high pace edits, he also thinks that over editing is dead, because now people are actually preferring the authentic and minimalistic style of editing. Don't get my word for it, just ask the man himself.
6 months ago, we invented a new style of editing, and it got pretty popular. It was fun, but it became this chase of new, more and better. And that became quite dangerous, because it got to the point where I only posted about 1 video per week, sometimes even less than that, because it took so long to edit the videos. Whenever you're posting just 1 video per week or less, there's just not enough volume for you to test out new ideas and get feedback from your audience. So I had to make a decision to either go in with the hardcore edits and barely put out any content, or scale back a little bit and take about 80% of what worked and looked good and didn't take too much time, develop a new style in a way that is more easy to produce. Retention editing might be dead now, but people love novelty. So whenever everybody is creating or will be creating those simple style content and edits, you will need to simply do something different to stand out. Maybe the crazy edits, maybe something else like unique branding, unique color style, the way you dress. These things will help you capture the attention, but the most important thing is simply structuring your content correctly, having the right idea, and using the right hooks.
And I can actually agree with his words, because I also see there's a huge demand for all the smooth and simple edits, because people really enjoy that and it becomes easy for them to actually understand what the actual video is about. In the year 2025, I don't think the highly paced over editing will actually actually come back. But instead what people prefer is actually connecting with the emotions and being relatable, while also providing high quality value. And please don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying that you need to stop using 3D animations and instead you need to use all the basic animations and all sort of things. What I mean by this is actually it's okay for you to use 3D animations, but what you need to focus is to actually present your video or to actually edit your video in a way that people haven't actually seen that. But if there's something that I can give you, do not focus on flashy or high pace edits. And I'm actually guilty to say this because in my previous videos I also hacked you with all these dopamine and high pace edits because I thought people was actually enjoying that. But the thing is that was really not the case, because once I saw all the comments, people was not actually getting value, but instead they were just getting pumped up with the edits. 99% of the comments that I got was about my editing. It was not about the actual value. So please do not try to over edit your videos, because editing is a really simple thing. It is a way that you can turn complex word into animations so your audience can understand, and over editing is not the answer for that. And that leads us to lesson number 3, which is the solution for this over editing styles. This took me a really long time to actually learn. After countless hours of editing, failures and all sort of things, and of course my research, watching other creators edit their videos and see what works and what not, and I genuinely think I know the perfect solution when it comes to actually editing a good YouTube video. And this is what you need to actually focus on in the year 2025. Instead of focusing on over editing and adding too many overlays and effects, focus on first the design and then focus on the smoothness. So what I mean by this is you need to design the edit before you actually start editing. You see, it is really hard to make motion graphics, but it won't be hard if you can actually design that in the first place. So when you're designing these animations or the motion graphics, you need to decide what elements you need to add to your design and what elements that you don't need to add to that design. Because if you add too many elements into a design, there are too many things to animate, and of course there are too many things cluttered up in one place, which becomes really hard for your audience to understand. Less is more. That is something that you need to keep in mind. Instead of adding too many effects and too many elements and all sort of things, focus on the simplicity and the minimalistic style of your design, and then move into actually animating that. And once you're animating your design or the animation, focus on the smoothness. That is what matters the most. You see, when people sends me their edits to actually review them, I see people make their animations and their keyframes in a way that I don't actually feel that it actually fits in that place, because the speed was not there, the velocity was not there, and it does not really actually match. So focus on actually making your animations and your edit smooth. And the way that you can do that is by practicing the graph, practicing how to use the keyframes, and of course how you can keep motion throughout those animations. If you watch the intro of my previous video, I tried my best to actually have a flow throughout those animations, which actually make the animations and everything really smooth. So the key takeaway here is first do the design, and once you're doing the design, only add the things that actually matters, so people can actually focus on the thing that matters. When it comes to actually animating that, focus on the speed, how you can use the graph, the way you use your graph, and what type of graph that you're using to actually animate those things. But now we have a bigger problem. You don't know how to come up with the designs, you don't know how to make your edits smooth and all sort of things, but you actually want to make high quality videos. Then I think I have the perfect solution for you. This is my perfect solution for the people who trust me by my work. Yes, just like everyone, I have built up a course. But before you skip this part, listen to me why this is something really different. If you are someone who thinks that you can actually do more rather than just editing videos for other people, then this is for you. I was in the same situation as you are in. I have edited videos for many clients, but deep down I felt that I can actually do more rather than just editing and trading my time to make high quality videos for other people. What I'm going to teach you inside this course is what I'm actually doing right now. I'm going to show you how you can use this skill of unique video editing to build up a brand for yourself, and how you can build up a business around that and make way more money that you can make than just editing videos for other people. So if you actually trust me, if you trust the work that I do here out on YouTube for you guys, then please do check the link down below. There will be a full video going through in depth about if this course will be the perfect fit for you. And my end goal here is to actually teach you guys the ins and out of everything that I know of video editing, creating content online, building up a brand, building up an audience with this unique skill of video editing. If that is something that you are truly interested in, please do check the link down below, and I will see you there. Thank you so much. let's get back into the video. And we will move into lesson number 4, which is ignoring the basic. There's a really big misconception that you need to cut out all the silences. You see, when public speakers are speaking, they often pause for like 1 or 2 seconds, and the main reason why they do that is because they let the audience to actually sink in the message that they have given. So once you are editing, you don't want to cut out all the silences. You might need to keep some silences in some parts so people can actually understand what you are trying to say, and that actually comes hand in hand with the pace. You need to make sure that you use different type of paces in different parts of the video. For example, in the intro you might have to go with a high pace editing style, and in the body or in the section where you actually start to provide value and information, then you need to actually slow down the pace and let the message actually sink into your audience. And once you're selecting background music, don't just throw out some 1 or 2 random songs that you think that will actually match that. And that is a really big mistake that I have did in my previous videos. Once I'm done with the edit, all I did was I just threw out 1 or 2 songs in the timeline and I just export that. It really was completely wrong, because music has a really big impact on the actual video. Select the music track according to the mood and the tone that you're trying to promote. For example, in the intro I use really high pace and dramatic kind of like cinematic music tracks in the intro, and once I move into the actual body I use kind of like the slow paced ambient type of music track. But when it comes to editing, make sure your music selection is on point, and the same goes with your sound effects as well. And the volume is really important. In my previous videos, my background music volume and my sound effects volume was really high and my voice was not clear. So when you're editing, make sure that your background music level is at a point somewhere like here. And of course you can maybe increase just a bit, but make sure that you're not decreasing this too much. And the same goes for sound effects as well. Make sure your sound effects are at a point where the volume is somewhere around here. So that basically wraps up this video. Bye bye, take care.